This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, LowcoSports fans, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and our oftentimes third wheel, Marcus Walsh, as Max Raj is making his way back from he's in the abyss between here and Beaufort.
Right.
Or Beaufort and wherever he's going. He's always stuck in Beaufort, he says, which it's called working, buddy. You're at work. That's it. But Max will be joining us, I'm sure, to share his wit and wisdom at some point here. But how you doing, boys? It's a Wednesday night. We made it to Hump Day. The days seem really long right now as the
days seem
school
long.
year gets short.
Tomorrow is May 1st.
Hard to believe.
Tomorrow is May 1st, and that means we are knee deep into spring playoffs.
Yes, we are.
We have Skiza baseball well underway. We got
they had a night off more or less tonight. Everything resumes tomorrow for Skiza, pretty much.
Yeah, for Skiza, but we didn't have a show last night, so.
Right, yeah, so we'll get into the stuff that went down last night.
And it's a great day to be a Maryville Sharks fan because of many reasons, including the lacrosse team heading to the state championship game in an overtime thriller last night.
Yeah, how about it?
And we will have a couple of the key players in that situation joining us tonight to talk about that. Tom Dyer, the head coach of the Maryville Sharks, and Ashton Stevenson, who scored the game winner last night against AC Flora in overtime for the 10-9 victory. I looked it up, Wes. I know Hilton Head won some state championships in lacrosse back in the day, and maybe Bluffton too. But it's been a long time. But here's what I looked up. I can't find records of those early years. But since the sport has been sanctioned in the state in 2010, I believe was the first year, we have never had a team make the finals. So from the Lowco area. So May River is in uncharted waters as far as Lowco boys lacrosse teams go, and any lacrosse team.
That is shocking to me that we haven't had a team get there until now.
Well, we've always had to go through, since it's been sanctioned, you've had to go through, Wando and Lucy Beckham, because the first few years it was only one classification. So you had to play in with Wando and everybody. Right. All the Greenville teams like Riverside and Eastside and all those. And then once they developed the second classification, you still had to go through Lucy Beckham and Oceanside for all those years. And those are like, basically like Charleston area travel teams on those rosters, especially at Oceanside.
Right.
So,
which is the team that Maryville will play in the championship team.
It is very much a David versus Goliath situation, despite the fact that May River is a 4A school. When it comes to lacrosse in particular, this is a mismatch type situation. But that doesn't mean that they can't, hang around and have a game plan and execute it well and end up winning that match. And we'll talk to Coach Dyer and Ashton Stevenson about that at some length later. We'll get them on for 10-15 minutes at least. We're also going to be joined by our super awesome friend Jeff Riley and our super awesome friend Genia Montford from USCB Athletics. We'll get to talk about the project that we teased last week that Jeff and I worked on.
It was incredible.
Our documentary and
great
all
job,
the
fellas.
And all his involvement in USCB Athletics is fantastic, right? And Jeff is in the green room, so we'll be talking with him here in a little bit. But we'll also get to talk with Gina about what else going on at USCB. The news that we unfortunately expected came out today that Ted Faulkner no longer the baseball coach there, and nobody's celebrating that here or at USCB or anywhere else. Great man. A great man, a great leader, did not have the best of resources to recruit to here, especially. And here's the thing. He was successful when they were still playing at the NAI level. He was successful here. Right. His first 2 years were solid. His first year was very good. His second was solid. And then that transition happened, and he just wasn't able to recruit the caliber of players that you need to compete at that level. To this place at that time. A lot of factors working against him. It's to me, it's kind of like I think about Rick Renteria with the Cubs and with the White Sox, both. He was hired for this to oversee this rebuilding project. He developed these young guys. He did a great job. And then, okay, well, now that it's time to win, we need somebody else. And it feels a little bit like that for Ted, and you hate that for him, but that's just kind of the breaks at times. He came here in large part because I think in large part because the D2 transition was on the horizon, and he wanted to be a part of that. And certainly you hoped it would have worked out better for him and for them with him. But, he's going to get an opportunity somewhere, I think. I don't know. I haven't talked to him, and maybe Genia can provide some insight into his hopes and plans. Sometimes people fall in love with this place and they want to be here. And there's high school baseball programs around here where Ted Faulkner could build a hell of a program and put a lot of guys in college. And if that's something that better fits his family life right now, I hope that's something that somebody considers trying to lure him to stick around and build a program, because he's the kind of guy you want coaching people in our community. It just didn't so happen to be successful over at USCB. But we'll talk about that a little bit more. We have lots of stuff to get through. As you mentioned, Wes, we didn't have a show last night, so we've got a good bit of stuff to run down. And we've already hit you with a couple of highlights. I had a personal highlight tonight. Got to see my boy, True Dog, and my Kraken Bulldogs take the district championship tonight, 11-2 over Hilton Head Middle. So very proud of the boys.
Pretty happy there.
Thrilled, man. I mean, I'm thrilled for them. I've coached a lot of these kids growing up, including the kids on the Hilton Head team. So, I've been rooting for both of them. Every team. I root for all the kids I've coached every year. But this is our boys. I helped coach this team a little bit last year, and we went through it a little bit. We had a young group and had some struggles, but they really came together this year and had a great season. So shout out to Nicholas Carpenter, who was a dude on the mound tonight and hit 4 ropes. They happened to catch one of them, but he was hitting the ball hard tonight, as well as got to give love to Nathan Fulton. He went yard tonight. Big Nate.
Nice.
So, good stuff. Yeah. All right. How y'all boys doing?
Just doing well. Doing well. Getting after it with some stuff here at home, doing a little bit of work, with what I do at the station, and even from home, I can, sometimes work at home. Sometimes I'm at the station working a day or 2 or 3 a week. Love having the flexibility, but doing well and having a great start to the week.
Yeah, it's almost over. It's Thursday tomorrow.
Yeah.
So. But it's going pretty well. I was able to catch a couple of different events over the past few days. Finished up the regular season at USCB over the weekend. What an awesome atmosphere over there for softball. I mean, we talked about baseball, but somber news. But on the other hand, really exciting news for the softball team and Cody Yeske.
Absolutely. Taking 2 out of 3 off North Georgia, and now they get a rematch with North Georgia in the first round of the Peach Belt tournament, which it's kind of cool when it works out that way.
Yep.
They definitely have some momentum working in their favor. They have some belief that not only can we beat this team, but we just beat them 2 out of 3, and the other one was competitive. So
and belief is a big factor when you get into this kind of game.
Huge factor. It means everything.
Yeah.
And we will talk about that more as well with our friends who are now waiting in the green room. So we'll get to them here shortly. Mickelson Law Firm is the presenting sponsor of the LowcoSports Lowdown tonight, and our all-star sponsor of LowcoSports. Big supporter of our coverage since the very beginning. They were our first sponsor back in 2017 and still supporting us today. 8 years later, guys. We're 8 years on to this thing, which is wild and crazy. Been a weird 8 years thanks to COVID.
With the
threw us for a loop. There's been a lot of evolution from where we started, but here we are, and Mickelson Law Firm still supporting us. We appreciate him so much, and I see him out and about all the time, and Ryan gives me a call every now and then to let me know about something going on, or fill me in or ask me what's going on with something. Love those folks, great people who really support sports in our community, and they support LowcoSports. They're our all-star sponsor, our official real estate closing attorney, and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. And we are going to talk some Hilton Head Christian Academy baseball here in a little bit, because those boys the defending state champs in 3A, now up in 4A. They got a puncher's chance now after knocking out the number 1 seed. So we'll talk about that a little later, and we'll make sure we let you know that that's Tom Dyer, presenting sponsor of our HHCA coverage. And they present tonight our first guest, the Associate Athletic Director from the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, our friend Genia Montford, and our super awesome friend, Jeff Riley. What's up, buddy? The best sweat mopper in the Peach Belt Conference. And we venture to guess the nation, but we haven't seen them all. So we can't attest to that.
Right,
true. Seen them all in the Peach.
In my bias,
my
bias, Steph Riley is the best in Division II. That is my.
I can't imagine a better one.
Yeah,
I can't imagine a better one. But I'm throwing up the last night in the Loco ticker, so you can see some headlines, including state championships for Hilton Head Christian, Hilton Head Prep Golf. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Jeff, what's up, buddy? And Gina, I happen to know what you guys were up to tonight. You were out bowling.
We were.
Not just for fun, Jeff. Not for you and Gina's son Nick. You guys were bowling with a purpose because you're preparing for yet another state games coming up. But more importantly, you brought home some hardware this weekend from Columbia at the state games for basketball.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, Nick and Tyler and the 5-on-5 Unified, they brought home bronze.
Yeah, and Jacob was on that team, right?
Yeah, Jacob was in that team. Yeah.
And then what did you bring home?
Silver.
Silver.
5x5 traditional. We brought home silver.
Let's go. Outstanding work, man. Outstanding work. Proud of you guys.
The second game we played in the second game, it was dramatic. My man Jordan, he hit a but basket right at the buzzer, went into overtime. Yeah, just like the men's team going into overtime a couple games this year, men's basketball team. So
there you go. That's awesome,
dramatic. Yeah, that's a way to end the season, but that to happen, just send it to overtime, and yeah.
Well, for folks who may have missed it the other night, Jeff and I made a documentary film last week, about 11 minutes in length. It's up on the Loco Media YouTube page, and Jeff submitted it as his final capstone project for USCB to finish his degree in interdisciplinary studies. And we're hoping for an A. We're waiting on that grade, but we feel pretty good about it. But you can check that out on the Loco Media Network. But Gina, you feature prominently in this documentary because it's all about the inclusive environment that you guys have created at USCB, not just in athletics, but certainly the athletics component is a huge part of it. Since you've launched basketball, and even before basketball, you've had a relationship, with PEP and Pockets Full of Sunshine and various other organizations that support folks with disabilities and intellectual disabilities and all kinds of disabilities in our community. And that has really gone to a new level with the basketball coming on campus. And it's all really part and parcel due to Jeff, whose personality is just so infectious. And he's just so eager to try whatever. He's down for whatever. He got involved. Well, I'll let you tell the story because I think the genesis all starts with just starting to take classes at USCB, and he happened to take a class that Nicholas was in, and the rest is history, right?
Yes. So, and Jeff, you chime in when you want to. Jeff's greatest ability and quality is that Jeff is naturally a connector. He just has the ability to bring people together, which is an amazing attribute for anyone to have. And so my son is my middle son's a freshman at USCB living on campus, and Jeff and Nicholas were in the same Oceans and Man's class. Is that correct, Jeff?
Oceans and Society class.
Oceans and Society. Okay. So hopefully Nicholas.
It used to be called Oceans and Man. I remember from my time at USCB.
In the dark ages when we were in college. But we, I got a text from Nicholas one time, like sometime in October, and said, "Hey, like my friend Jeff has asked me to bowl with him in Special Olympics on the unified team. And I was like, okay, that's really cool. How amazing. And a couple weeks later, I get another text message of, hey, Jeff really wants to be involved in basketball at USCB.
Yeah.
How do we get him involved? What do we do? And so I was like, well, have Jeff come see me. So just like any of our volunteer coaches, Jeff comes in and meets with me. And because all of our volunteer coaches like meet with Quinn or myself. And so Jeff comes in and meets with me. I'm like, what are you looking to do? Like, I have a floor mop position open, or if you want to help people find their seats, like, he's like, I think I really want to do floor mop. And I'm like, all right, well, let's try it. And I think it was the week of our first game, actually, that Jeff and I talked. And Jeff since then has been consistent. He's been an amazing asset to our athletics program, our athletics family. Our student athletes have had a great opportunity to spend time with Jeff. The basketball team, as you see there, they love Jeff. His pictures in their locker room. There's a nice picture of Jeff up in the locker room for basketball. But connections that Jeff has made with their student athletes on, especially the men and women's basketball program, has been amazing to watch. And because of Jeff's involvement and Nicholas's getting Jeff involved, and we were able to get Jacob involved a little bit later in the season as mascot security. And so
there's Jacob.
Hilarious. And a whole exercise show. But just really cool to have not just Jeff, but now also Jacob involved as part of our staff at within athletics.
And Jeff, of course, was able to join me on some of the broadcasts, which was phenomenal.
Making my debut on those broadcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. We got you started in your broadcasting career now, and now you're a documentary filmmaker. There you are doing some of your interviews with Jacob and Tyler and Nick. Nick on the left and Tyler on the right are Gina's two sons who have become very involved with the Special Olympics.
That was my awesome teacher, Libby, just a minute ago.
Sure was. She is one of the most wonderful people on the planet as well. Like if you just want to watch it, some uplifting content, hearing people, talk to Jeff about how this whole thing has impacted their lives in a positive way. And I say this whole thing because, it took on a life of its own. And it's, you talk about connecting. Jeff's just sitting over there smiling.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a spot to eat my dinner one night. And there's a friendly guy sitting over there by himself at the table. I'll go sit with him. Struck up a conversation. I said, hey, man, you are really good on that floor mop. And he said, what do you do during the games? And the rest is history there. And there's just so many, the rest is histories with Jeff. It comes from a little conversation, and, the ideas that you have bounced off of me just in the last couple of weeks. We got at least 2 ideas for children's books you want to write. We've already made one documentary. We got enough footage to make a full-length feature film if we wanted to. This guy's a poster child for, if you want to do it, just do it, and I feel like everybody just feeds off of your energy, Jeff. It's so great to be around.
And actually, I was another connector when I first met Nick and this other person, Ethan. Actually, at PEP, I go to programs to substitute people.
Yeah.
And I was showing a picture of Ethan and Nick and to one of the staff members. She's semi-retired, kind of. She comes and helps out once in a while. And her name is Mary Jo. And I was showing a picture of Ethan. He said, oh, my God, is that Ethan? Oh, my gosh, is that Ethan Teff? I said, yeah, I'm friends with him. And she said, oh, my gosh, I used to babysit Ethan when he was like a little kid, 8 years old. And so I made a connection there, too. So,
yeah, that's awesome. And then we, of course, had Jacob's amazing shot. This is one of the great promotions that you guys do. Gina, you started a couple of years ago when basketball started with the Special Olympics basketball teams playing their exhibition games at halftime of your games. And there's Jacob reining it in.
With the bucket.
Jacob, it was, oh, shoot, I cut that one off early. It was that, I believe, that earned him the role as mascot security for our guy Finnegan, right?
Yes.
He has his own shirts.
if you've not been to one of our games where Jacob's mascot security, you have to check it out because Finnegan has a whole like sidekick scenario going on with Jacob.
Yeah, he does.
There's
Batman and Robin situation.
Shenanigans that are going on there during the game at times with Jacob, and it's amazing. And he has become a crowd favorite, and we love him for being there.
He be trolling. He be trolling.
He does troll. There is one point where I went back to watch a game. Dom had this amazing dunk, and I was back in the back, and so I missed the dunk. So I went back to watch the game. It was the Augusta game. And we always like laugh about the Augusta's men's coach.
Yeah.
I look at the bottom of the screen, closer to where you are, JJ, and Finnegan's kind of like giving it to the coach a little bit, like from the other side, just like messing with them. And then I see Jacob on the other end, and he's just like this, like with a big L, just absolutely like going right at Dip for it. And it was Coach Mitri, and so like it was. It cracked me up. It was funny.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Yes. So Jacob's a lot of fun and has become a crowd favorite, and just as much as Jeff is a crowd favorite. And Jeff, I told you tonight, and JJ, I want to talk to you about it, but like we have an amazing group of season ticket holders we've been able to cultivate over the last 2 years, and Jeff being a fan favorite, love to send that video to them and credit,
yes.
media for making it, but almost like the man behind the mop type of
absolutely. I mean, I want everybody to see it. I really do. I just think that it's such an uplifting story of how much joy one person can add to the world.
Yeah,
and to the world around him, and how it just enriches everybody. And it's a beautiful story. I mean, I worked at USCB for 6 years, and everything that's said in there about the inclusive community there is 100% true. It is an awesome place. It really is. And I mean, running the folks at Limestone will tell you, running a small college these days is not easy business. Trying to keep your head above water, but it's the people who make the place, and there are awesome people there who've been there a long time. So speaking of which, you got some good things happening over there. Some hard news. It's always hard when you have to make a coaching change with Ted Faulkner. You guys having to go a different direction with baseball. But some great news coming along too, as far as softball getting into the Peach Belt Conference tournament. Both golf teams having outstanding showings at the Peach tournament, 2 individual champs, and then you were down in Daytona for the track and field as well. So, busy spring starting to come to a wind down, but tell us a little bit about some of the success for the Sand Sharks this year.
Yeah, so as you said, we did make a coaching change on the baseball side, and at JJ, as you know, like working with staff so closely, like those changes are tough.
It sucks. I mean, nobody wants to do it.
I mean, Ted is Coach Faulkner
They're
is
friends, man. They're the people you go to work with every day.
Oh yeah, I mean, and Ted Faulkner is one of the best coaches I've ever worked with.
Superman.
Like in regards to being a team player and supporting the staff, supporting all the programs. He is always the one that on our text message strings has the best gift selections and in those strings, and so that was tough. He's an amazing man, and so making that change obviously is not easy and it's tough, and we honestly wish Ted the best and his family the best, and but we're looking now to move baseball in a little bit different direction, but on the positive side and the great things we have going on, big congratulations to Coach Cottrell and Coach Fritzinger. Brought home 2 individual champions at the Peach Belt Conference Championships for men's golf and women's golf, and then brought home a team championship, our first ever championship in the Peach Belt. But don't tell Finnegan that, because he is still claiming.
Yes, he still claims.
Yes, Finnegan is technically the first champ. He won the Mascot Challenge.
2-time, right?
Twice, yes. Yeah. So I think he's still trying to hold on to that as being the first.
Yes.
But amazing job by by both coaches and our men's and women's golf team. So a lot to be proud of there. Softball had 2 huge wins this weekend at home for senior weekend against number 8 North Georgia. So they left today at 1 to head up to North Georgia, who I think they'll see in the first round of the playoffs back in Dahlonega. And so we wish them the best. I think they play at 4:00 on Friday. So practice day tomorrow and get ready for it for Friday. So congratulations to our seniors on that team who will be missing graduation to represent us on the softball diamond. So, but, really, like, I sent the seniors an email because I was not able to be there for senior day because I was with track and field, but just what they've been able to set as the cornerstone for NCAA air in softball is huge. And we are proud of them and the direction of that program. Obviously, very proud of Coach Yeski and Coach Owen, and expect to continue to see big things grow there for them. And then on the track and field side, Coach Harris, Coach Lane, Coach Morris, Coach Downey, they are doing an amazing job with track and field. We've obviously grown a number, finished, I think, 5th on the men's side in the team standings at the Peach Belt. But, within close range of some teams that obviously have some room to make some moves. Finished 1st in the men's 4x100, which was amazing.
Outstanding.
It was not a close finish either. They ran away with that. And so that was amazing. And congratulations to Dee, who won the heptathlon on the women's side as Peach Belt champion. And so a lot of 2nd, 3rd place finishes, a lot of point scores for track and field, a lot of PRs this year, a lot of new school records this year. So a lot of big things coming for track and field, continuing to grow that program. And so very excited for the vision of those coaches.
Outstanding.
Guys, going on.
We do have other guests waiting, but Wes has one for you guys before we let you go.
Yeah, just I want to get to Jeff Riley and just your thought. You just need more about the experience that you had with this video project and what you took away from it and what you learned from the experience. And in terms of Genia, how proud are you of what he has done and the example that he has set to be that positive ambassador for this university and to be that spark plug. I think that I think that this basketball team's run, this men's basketball team's run, was made possible by the excitement that we saw from Jeff Riley, and not just him, but the entire student population, but especially the energy that Jeff emanated in these basketball games through that video. It just speaks volumes to him and to what we could see in the future for this community, and just how much of an inspiration has he been. And sorry, this is going on too long, but I have a lot of thoughts. And Jeff, just reflect on what this project meant to you.
It meant a lot to me. This meant the whole 9 yards to me, doing that and meeting all these awesome people and everybody in athletics. It really touches my heart. That it does. This does touches my heart, and everybody there is so kind, and Nick and everybody else. Alejandro, that's my buddy Alejandro.
Yeah, and Kyle.
That's a great shot.
Look at this shot right here. That's the one that hangs in the locker room. And you don't have to take anyone on here's word for it that Jeff was a big part of it. You don't have to take Wes's word for it. Ron Fodala said it in his own words in our film. He said, Jeff, you were a huge part of what we did and what we do. And he sells the relationship that his guys have with you guys as a selling point for the program when he talks to recruits, and it's in the PowerPoint, as he says. And that, I know that means a lot to you, Jeff. I just want to say how much it meant to me for us to, in such a short time, develop the kind of relationship where you would ask me to be a part of making this project with you and helping you make it come to fruition, because it was super meaningful to me. I mean, I spent few hours a day during my spring break with you during the day working on it. and it was really meaningful to me to be able to produce it. Yeah, I'm more proud of it than anything I've ever produced in any medium in my life, because of the story it tells and the hope that it can bring people. So I love you, buddy. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Gina, thank you so much. Your friendship is certainly valued as well over the years, and we love to see the success over at USCB and wish you guys well. Thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you guys real soon, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Don't cry, Gina. I'm trying not to. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Genia Montford and Jeff Riley are super awesome friends. I almost cried for a second, but I didn't quite. Got to shout out a couple of sponsors before we get to our next guest. We've got Hudson Seafood House on the Docks is back for another round on the Loco Booster Club. Great spot for seafood, cocktails, and sunsets on Hilton Head Island. And our friend Ned Willis says to get it Andrew's way when you get that po' boy. Presenting sponsors the Under the Bus. We had a new episode tonight, so go check that out on the Loco Media Network. We also have Hilton Head Furniture on board as a Loco Booster Club member. Great handmade furniture made up in Hickory, North Carolina, close to where Coach Mullis is from, brought down here to the Low Country to sell to you to put in your house for a long time. Hilton Head Furniture. And then HHI Windows and Doors, our old friend Coach Barron from Hilton Head Prep, out of the basketball game into the windows and doors game that can help you improve your view of the Low Country. It's a beautiful view. You got to get it as good as you can get it with Hilton Head HHI. I want to say Hilton Head Island. HHI Windows and Doors. And now we welcome our next round of guests from the May River boys lacrosse team. We got Coach Tom Dyer, and we're trying to get Ashton Stevenson in here as well, but it looks like he is currently connected to his devices. But Coach Dyer, what's going on, man? We'll wait and see if Stevenson gets in here. And in the meantime, we got a friend of yours sitting in the green room. We got Coach Mullis, and I think we're about to have a full house. It looks like Ashton is joining us as well. It's a Sharkapalooza, boys. Live every week like in Shark Week. Coach Dyer, congratulations, man, on a huge win, historic win, really. Oh, I'm getting a little feedback off somebody. Let me see if I can fix that. But historic win, really, not just for May River, but for the Loco. We were talking earlier about nobody from this area since the sport has been sanctioned has made it to the state championship game. So a huge win for you guys. And Ashton with the game winner. Tell us about this run you guys are on. A couple of huge revenge games with wins over Hilton Head and AC Flora. Ashton, tell us about the rush last night getting the game winner.
I mean, you can't practice something like that. In the moment, it's just catch and shoot the ball. We had a great face-off from Logan Calvo to get the possession and to actually be able to have the ball. I won us the game. I mean, it was definitely a big moment for us. It's been my second time in the semifinals. First time was my sophomore year, and we ended up losing to Lucy Beckham. And this time it looked a little bit different, but it was definitely a great game plan coming in on the offensive side. We struggled a little bit in the first half, had a big deficit, and then coming into the second half, we just flipped the switch and turned it on and got it running.
I mean, those are the moments that you're dreaming of as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid watching the lacrosse team when you were a lot younger. So, I mean, just take me through the emotion, that shot, and then the celebration with your team.
Yeah, it's growing up. I mean, for every sport, you always got that 3-2-1 countdown to score the game winner, and for it to actually come
I mean, that's
true.
When you play in the backyard. If it's basketball or if it's lacrosse, you
3-2.
And for that to actually come true and turn into reality is definitely something that I will never forget, and the team will never forget. The celebration, I mean, everyone's family being there, traveling up to Columbia. The first place we went was over to the sideline and to the bleachers to celebrate with our family. And the teammates, I mean, we've worked so hard for this all season. Coming in from last year, I mean, we didn't graduate too much. So we kind of had everyone from last year and a few new guys come in, and we knew what we needed to do, and we got it done. And it was definitely a big struggle. I know at the beginning of the year we were talking the road to Irmo, and it didn't really look like it was gonna be there coming in.
Yeah, I think you started like 3-3, right? And a couple of those losses were to Hilton Head and AC Florida, teams that you knew you'd have to go through to get there. So, Dyer, tell me about the growth of this team over the course of the year. I texted you this morning and said, man, just incredible improvement and growth throughout the course of the year. Getting those revenge wins late tells you a lot about the growth you've seen. And so just tell me about the work ethic of these guys and how you were able to get this group to where they are now.
This group of guys is really special. I appreciate everything that they've done for us starting in the off season, and just pushing forward to make it happen both on the field and off the field. Working on stick skills and getting bigger, faster, stronger. It's been really good for us, and I'm really proud of them and what they've done. And we're trying to push to be the pinnacle of South Carolina lacrosse. Our district athletic director wants all of our sports in Beaufort County to try to be the pinnacle of the sport that you have, and we're pushing for that, and hopefully we can have that happen come Friday.
Take me back to earlier in the season, specifically back in March 13th. You guys were, you even go back to the first AC Florida game. You lost by 6, then you lost Hilton Head, and the mark of a good team is avenging both of those losses, and you beat them both when it mattered in the playoffs. And I remember that Hilton Head game specifically. You let in a back-breaking buzzer beater goal that Hilton had scored. It was a beautiful play. Don't get me wrong. Hilton had an absolutely unbelievable play with like 5 seconds left to score that. And then you guys turn it around and you rattle off a bunch of big wins. That Richmond Hill win in overtime. And then Philip Simmons after that. And then, of course, the big wins in the playoffs. Tell me about how you guys, what kind of flipped in terms of flipping that switch to eventually avenge those 2 losses to both the Seahawks and the Falcons to get to this point.
So when we were at River Bluff on a Saturday in Columbia, and we were kind of similar to how AC4 went the other night, we were down early, and at halftime we were down pretty big, and we couldn't let the deficit kind of spread like a fungus. We needed to make sure that we were going forward and working together with the guys. And our FCA rep, Joe Batista, always says, like, peace, be still, and kind of kings get chaotic, but stay calm and tell them just chip away one at a time. And we were able to beat River Bluff. I think it was 12-8. And then we go into Richmond Hill, and then the same thing happens. We're down by a bunch. So we just get down early, and now we got to chip away. And, we rattled off a bunch of goals similar to the other night. And it was, those were the 2 games I think turned it around. We just needed to make sure that we were working on getting mentally tougher during that time span of being like, okay, when things go bad, like Stephen Hawking says, we can't look at our feet. We have to look up at the stars and get ready to go and look for the future. And so we started doing a workout called Tabata, which is a 4 rounds or 3 rounds of 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. And it's grueling. I mean, they aren't difficult exercises, but it's just to mentally get you prepared. And we would do that before practice, doing a lot of stuff, hitting the ground, getting back up. And I think it hit there. It just hit, and we started rolling from that. And, we lost a couple in between those games and where we are now, but, we've kept the train rolling.
Ashton, as a player, just following up, how have you really helped flip that switch as a leader and as someone who has really seen his ability improve and just finding that groove as this year has gone along? And just talk to me about how you yourself have improved not just as a player, but as a leader, as a communicator on the field?
We have a bunch of younger guys on the team. A lot of our offensive players are sophomores, so to help develop them and help these other my other teammates, seniors, juniors, just get that mentality into where the game's not over. When we're down, we're not getting the ball on offense. We're not doing what we're coached to do, and we just got to get back to doing what we're coached to do, what our game plan is, and running our offense and doing what we need to do. And it's just trying to get into their heads. To just because the scoreboard says 6-0 doesn't mean the game's over. I mean, we still have 3 other quarters left, and to get that through their heads is definitely one of the biggest challenges.
Well, I know that everybody in May River supports everybody in May River, so I know that the baseball boys would be there in you know, at Irmo supporting you guys on Friday night if they didn't have a game themselves against Hilton Head. But Mois is over here waiting his turn to talk a little bit. I'm sure he's got some thoughts about lacrosse, but probably many more about baseball. Well, what's up over there, buddy?
It'd be great if his mic was unmuted.
He's muted, so he's going to have to unmute it.
Wilson,
there
I need my IT guy.
Oh, okay. You need your IT
Wilson down here, the IT department.
What do you think about these Sharks lacrosse team, man?
Hey, man, they've been building. They're always pretty good. It seems like to me. I mean, they're just taking it a step forward.
I mean, it's been a successful program for many years, but this is an uncharted territory for everybody here in Lowdown. I mean, the first team to get there. I mean, what does
knocking on the door at some point you're gonna knock it in, you know? I mean, it's
well, and I mean, you saw your guy Powell. You guys are all tight knit. You coach football together. You saw your guy Powell knock the door down this year, you know, last year, and then kick it in again this year. And then, you know, you've had success in programs around there. Coach Dyer is clearly becoming a more rounded Renaissance man. He dropped Stephen Hawking on us. He's doing Tabata. But then, you know, the other thing that is the elephant in the room is Loco Rush. That thing has transformed what lacrosse looks like in this area, and I think we're just now starting to see what's going to come of that. But Ashton's nodding his head, so I'm going to let him weigh on Low Country Rush and what that's done to just really elevate the level of lacrosse we're playing here.
Yeah, I started playing Loco Rush when Kieran McCardle and Billy Richardson came down here, and they had their first camp back in November 2 years ago, about a year, just over a year ago. And they've definitely helped out with us. I know I've improved since then, and to get all these younger kids out there, like even today on the soccer field that's right next to the lacrosse field, there's a bunch of little kids out there playing and getting that work in, and our coaches look over and that's the future of May River right there. With Coach Kieran and what they did down here and what they've brought down here, and is just amazing. I love to see it, and I know I started lacrosse when I was young and it wasn't that big down here at all, and to see how much it's grown now more than ever is just awesome to see. Get all these younger guys who about 10 years ish will be hopefully playing for Coach Dyer and Coach Heber, and to watch them develop is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just
I'll piggyback off that.
Let Dyer piggyback off that.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
When Kieran came down here and knew that he was going to move down here, I worked with his sister at McCracken my first year down here in Bluffton, and she let me know that her brother was going to move down here out of New York City area, and started there, and you know, kind of needed a home base to get the Low Country Rush going. And I said, well, you know, this would be absolutely fantastic because this now gives us, you know, some vertical alignment and getting the kids up from, you know, shooting the ball and, you know, passing, catching, getting ground balls, and, you know, those little boinks that you have off the post when you're a little kid now become corners being ripped when you get to the age of Ashton and some of our other guys. And it's really good. And there's other great programs that are in the area as well. And we have a lot of guys that do some club stuff, so they always have a stick in their hand. And the stick skill development has really impacted us and helped us get to this level where we are now.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had access to the club stuff in the past, at least if you wanted to go to Charleston or something, but even like on Hilton Head and stuff. But I think the stuff they've added at the youth levels and the free camps and clinics they've done and that kind of stuff, just the fundamental skill training, man, we're going to see that pay off in spades in a few years when those kids start getting there. And you're already seeing, like, I know the best girls lacrosse player in the area who can't even play high school lacrosse yet, right? Ella Claire, who's also a great little wrestler. So there's like a whole generation of kids who are coming, who have grown up with sticks in their hands and quality training that didn't exist here 10 or 15 years ago. So it's really cool to see that the level is going to continue to elevate. Mellis, we're not trying to make you play second fiddle. Tell us about that baseball team, man. The Sharks are on fire.
Dude, I got better than that. I got better than that. Y'all were talking about tight knit coaching community.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got some questions for Tom. We've been working on this for a little bit here. The first one is how is it being a 275-pound lacrosse defenseman in high school?
Oh man, you look those numbers up. Well, here's a great story. So
no, I didn't look them up, but you know somebody that did.
So I ended up playing for a program that was brand new. So I've known nothing but new lacrosse programs my entire life. When I was in 8th grade, the school that I was feeding into was starting lacrosse. So I ended up playing JV as an 8th grader, and then I had to play 4 years of varsity there, and up in Western New York. And we ended up playing in the first round of what we call sectionals up there. We ended up playing Webster Schrader High School, and they had a guy named Grant Catalino on their team, and it's no big deal. He just went to Maryland, won the lacrosse version of the Heisman, and then played professional lacrosse. So I had to go cover him. So that was a pretty neat experience I had my freshman year. And it's hard when you're a bigger guy running around. Ashton actually started his career playing defense for us, and then slowly grew into playing some attack. So that was it's not fun when you're the bigger guy running around out there. You got to be able to make it happen. But our defensemen are much leaner, and they're mean as well. That help us out. Our combo of Grant Turner, Will Rowley, Jake Lewis, and Brendan O'Reilly.
Okay, we got more.
There's no doubt.
I did invite Mellis to crash this interview, by the way.
Is there any truth to the rumor?
We talked about that May River lacrosse team getting that big win to get to the state championship game. May River baseball, as you said, 2 wins this week. May River soccer painting the town blue again.
We'll talk about them in a minute. Let's clear out Dyer.
Mellis is grilling Dyer right now. We're letting Mellis grill Dyer.
I'm trying to give love to all the May River teams.
This is way more fun.
Oh yeah. We will.
Any truth to the rumor that your game changer code is naughty by nature?
Yes, my gamer tag is naughty by nature 71. During COVID, I needed to get on the sticks with some of the other coaches, and I didn't have a PlayStation, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know a name, so I was going through some. They were all taken, and I was listening to some Naughty by Nature in the background, so I tried that one, and that ended up being my gamer tag.
Oh God, they're starting to come in now. I just had a couple, but I'm starting to get more.
Oh boy.
No, it is. Hey, guys, that is one thing about the coaches. Everybody over there gets along. And I mean, it's a good, and they're all good coaches. I mean, there's not a weak link over there. And they're just good dudes, and everybody gets along. And, and you want, like Ashton, those guys, you want to see them do well because you watch how hard they work. And that's every sport. That's not just one sport. I mean, you see them, Tom, in the weight room, and these guys get after it. And I mean, you want to see it. You want to see them break through that glass and, take that next step. And
I'm also getting questions and comments for you now, Tom, that can't be shared on air. So
I'm sure.
I'll
It
share
says
them
a
with
lot
you
about a
later.
program, a lot about a school, top to bottom, no matter who the athletic director is. And I know May Rivers had a few since I got to this
No, they've
area.
had two ever. They've had Brett
Two.
Mincy and
Well,
Jermaine Bigham. That's it.
yeah, I guess that's
There you go.
not quite a few, but a couple.
Yeah.
And just to have the camaraderie that you all do, it's absolutely terrific.
It's a cool thing. It really is. It's and you know, winning is contagious. Work is contagious. Like you see the culture has been built there where people you can look from program to program and see the elements that have built the success and you know the Venn diagram overlap and it's a lot easier to sell your kids. You know, if you coach a winter or a spring sport, it's a lot easier to sell them on the plan when the plan worked in fall. You know, and so the plan's working at May River, and it's a cool thing. And we appreciate you boys joining us. And we'll get Dyer and Mullis back on together again sometime to ask you
I ain't getting on with him.
the rest of these questions.
Hey, he's way too good. I ambushed him tonight. He'll plan it.
It'll be the art of war, boys. Ashton, I'm gonna give Ashton the final word before we let you out of here. But you got a David versus Goliath battle against Oceanside Collegiate. Everybody knows they're the team that's expected to win it before the season even starts. So you guys are kind of playing with house money. But you know, what's your mentality going into this game? What has to happen for you guys to pull it off and shock the world, so to speak?
Yeah, I kind of had a little talk to the team today and kind of been mentally preparing for it. And everyone thinks that they're going to win. And, I mean, we're the underdogs in this story. And coming into this game, I'm just going to tell the team, like, we just got to go out and play. Like, it's my last lacrosse game as a May River high school student and probably last lacrosse game ever. So just go out and play your heart out. It's our last game of the season, and I don't think there will be another May River high school team for a while. I hope there is, but to be in this spot, and it's hard work. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get here, and did a lot of Tabatas to get here. So I mean, just go out and play our heart out, play our game, play our pace of play, and just go out and play. I mean,
you guys have already made history as the first team to ever get to this point from the Low Country, and now you have a chance to do something even more special on Friday night, and we will be all rooting you on from back here. We will hopefully report on you guys.
Time to re-up that NFHS subscription for a month, boys.
Yes. Hopefully, reporting you guys on shocking the lacrosse state. That would be something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ain't win it if you
ain't
in it.
Best of luck.
Shoot your shot,
That's
baby.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, it's been a Sharkapalooza. We've enjoyed it. Thanks so much, fellas, and best of luck on Friday night. One more day to prepare for the big game. So go get them, fellas.
Absolutely.
When are you? Is this true? We've got reports that you may be dyeing your hair blue if you win.
Those are reports are the first ones hearing to me. I don't know if my wife will be happy about that.
Greatly exaggerated.
Yeah.
All right, boys. We'll let you go. We appreciate you staying up late with us, and we appreciate your efforts repping the Loco in the state championship game. So best of luck to you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Tom Dyer, Ashton Stevenson. You want to stick around a minute, Mullis, and talk a little ball?
You did baseball? Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little ball because we got some from last night and some from tonight. Last night we had Dorchester 11-1 over Thomas Hayward to even that series at 1 apiece. And skis at 2A. We had Hilton Head Prep advance. Your boy Wells 4-1 over Greenwood Christian to stay in the winners bracket. Patrick Henry dropped to the losers bracket 11-3 to Orangeburg Prep. And then HHCA Trying to make another run. Knocked off Lawrence Manning last night, 7-3, and Boise's still in it.
Nice win there. They're in the winner's bracket too, right?
Yes, they're sitting pretty
they haven't
now.
lost yet. They haven't lost in playoffs yet. And Lawrence Manning was the 1 seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
They were, and they lost 2 close games to them.
That Brooks must have shoved.
Brooks pitched last night against Lawrence Manning. They had saved him for this game just in case they ended up having to play Lawrence Manning. So with that, they pitched Brooks last night. I don't know how far he went. Actually,
I got
it up here. I have.
Yeah, we all got the game changer.
Yeah.
But while you're looking that up, more baseball tonight. May River 10-4 over Hilton Head. Bishop England clinches the region title with 13-3 win over Bluffton, and Beaufort 10-4
bases loaded in the.
It was like 6-3, right?
No, it was 4-3, and they had a base loaded in the bottom of the 6th. Couldn't get it.
Just needed.
I mean, hey man, they're scrappy, dude. They're scrappy.
Yeah, they really are. They're going to be a tough route, man.
Y'all would like this. So Brooks pitched because it went to extras last night. Apparently,
it was 8 1/3, right?
Yeah, Brooks pitched 8 1/3 last night. 7 hits allowed, 3 runs allowed, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, and 4 walks.
That's a wrong man outing.
Throwing 8 1/3.
Wow.
How many pitches?
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, maxed him out.
Yep.
That's good though, man. I mean,
that's a grown man outing.
Yeah, well, he's getting ready to go play grown man baseball. You know,
sure is.
Right.
Sure is. But while we were loving on all those May River teams, we failed to mention the softball team who completed a undefeated run through the region.
Everybody's making the headlines at this point.
Man, they got
going to get that Carlisle Cup this year.
They got a real chance.
I know. I watched those girls. I know they got a couple arms because you can see
they got
baseball practice, and
they
got a couple girls.
Another good year in the fall. We had, of course, wrestling.
Nagel's good, and then Caden Swafford's the young one coming along. She's good.
They got
too.
a couple, and I think that girl's a really good pitching coach too. I mean, they seem
absolutely.
But they get after it over there, and
and there's another one for you. The tennis team knocked out Hartsville yesterday, 4-2. It was a sweep for our region. With also Hilton Head 5-1 over South Florence and Bluffton 6-0 over Gilbert. Bluffton is solid this year.
Yeah.
So they might make a little run. But yeah, been a great year over in the Shark Tank. My battery is running out of power. And we are running out of time. We've been almost an hour, but going into Friday, Mullis, you guys got one more against Hilton Head, and then it's playoff time. You feel like several teams from this region have a chance to make some noise in those district tournaments?
Yeah, I mean,
Bishop England clearly going to be a problem.
I like the way Buford's playing. In my opinion, obviously Carleton County, a team that they should be.
Bluffton's scrappy.
Yeah, they're a scrappy team. Bluffton as well, and they gave a good fight to Bishop England through 6, but they fell apart in the 7th. They lost 10-3, but it was tight.
They scrapped those runs out on Weiner tonight too.
Yeah.
And he's pretty damn good.
So that game is a lot closer than the score would show. They don't sleep on Bluffton.
Sure is.
But
believe me, Wes, it was watched on Game Changer.
Yeah.
We were paying attention.
Yep. Were.
Several
I think May River. I think the Sharks are well positioned to be a competitive team in the district tournament.
Got some pitching.
They will. They're going to be
hot.
the 2 seed. They leapfrog a couple of teams to get to that 2 spot. So they will.
I think it's done now. We're the 2 spot.
Yeah, the 2 seed secured for May River.
Yep. And then Beaufort, I guess Bluffton's 3 and Beaufort's 4.
Well, that'll be decided the last game because I think they're tied in record, but Bluffton has a head-to-head, although they'll still have a more against Bishop England, and Beaufort has Carleton.
So they need either a win or a Beaufort loss to lock up the 3?
Yeah, because Bluffton
Bluffton is head-to-head. That's the thing. Bluffton is head-to-head.
Yeah.
Bluffton should be 3, Beaufort 4.
Right, but there's still one game left.
And, since there's only 3 3 things down here. I would think
So what I'm saying is, if Buford wins and Bluffton loses on Friday, then Buford becomes the 3.
It
Yes,
could flip
that's correct. Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
But,
Yes.
but
wow.
I could also see.
It's impressive.
I could see Hilton Head maybe getting an at-large as well.
I could too.
I could too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think because that is such a young Hilton Head team as well, and they've played.
Depends
so
how
well
many at-larges they give the lower state teams, and there's always sometimes they give.
Well,
we're
one region short short down here.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
the RPI.
The at-larges are sometimes given to upper state teams, so
right. But Hilton Head's 30th in the RPI. I think they got a pretty good shot to get one.
I do too.
Yeah, and some of them are given just to lower state teams, so they got a pretty decent
I think
shot.
they got a decent shot, and not everybody applies for it either. The other thing is not everybody applies for it because some of them are like, nope, we're good.
I mean, I'll just say this.
Spring sports might be different because you don't have another sport to prepare for. It's not like basketball.
No, I'm telling you, they're not different because there's some places where they're like, nope, the budget's gone, and our team's not planning on playing past today.
Yeah, especially the travel expenses of having to go.
It's a real thing at some of them schools, and when it's a program that's struggling, sometimes you're not going to get 9 to show up.
That makes sense.
I would say, despite the flaws that RPI may have, I always find it so much fun to just look at the RPI standings as of now.
Oh, yeah.
Just think,
it has major flaws. Sometimes you look at it and go, "What?" Huh?
Yeah.
But
I do love watching it.
But it's a better metric than what we had before.
Oh, it's a way better.
Going to be busy at the Shark Tank next week. Got home playoff games for baseball on Monday, softball and girls soccer Tuesday, boys soccer Wednesday. As you mentioned, Wes, Misa's boys and Coach Houghton's girls both painted the town blue in the Bluffton Derby last night. That is the bulk of what we got for you tonight. So let's shout out our last round of sponsors, and then we'll get into our parting thoughts. And I do have a question from Coach Dyer for Coach Mullis.
I knew it.
Final round of sponsors. If you need a new baseball and softball themed apparel, check out the t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more over at basehitlife.com. Live your best to Base Hit Life and basehitlife.com. Dr. Ambrose Cole, our official chiropractor, find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right. Mind, body, and spirit. I have not had time to visit him recently, and I need to. Reverence Wrestling Club, official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Keep your floor so clean, your feet will thank you. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Parting thoughts, and I will first say, Coach Mullis, did you get that barbecue sandwich from Cookout after the game?
I came on.
You get you a tray?
I was going
you get you a tray?
I was thinking about it.
I can't drive past Cookout without getting a tray.
Well, the problem is there's one right near the high school. When I'm going to a game held in high school, there's literally a Cookout like
right there.
Next walk over.
I can't resist it. I can't resist it.
I can't either.
Big double cheeseburger tray with chicken quesadillas for both sides.
Man,
when I was at
one other question. I'm supposed to ask you about the tiny pants.
Oh, Mr. Tiny Pants.
Mr. Tiny Pants.
Turner Johnson. I wear shorts a lot. I wear shorts a lot. And, Chris and Turner's dad and I are really good friends. And Chris, when Turner was a little baby, all he ever called me was Mr. Tiny Pants because I had shorts on all the time. So that's where that came from.
I love it. All right. Now I'll cede the floor to you. You got a parting thought for us?
No, it's good baseball, man. Be around next week. I'm telling you, you'll see there's a lot of teams that peaking at the right times.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's you can talk about Christian, you can talk about us, you can talk about whoever. You'll see some high level baseball played next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday.
Hopefully see some pretty good baseball Friday night.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
But we
Marcus. Oh yeah, go ahead.
We played well tonight, and Hilton Head played well. And I mean, like I said, and Justin's team. The middle school. Look at the level of play in that middle school game today.
Yeah,
And I mean, the level of play is just stepped up across the board.
Yeah, tremendously.
And,
You're right.
I mean, it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Marcus Walsh, you're next up, buddy.
I'm just gonna go back to what you and Jeff did. It was absolutely phenomenal. I saw a little bit of it like last week, and then Kevin mentioned something. I'm like, I gotta take 10 minutes out of my day and watch this thing. And I know that things change with time, but getting into this business back when I was really getting into it, you know, technically a little bit over 20 years ago, still as a high school kid. There was one thing that I really learned that even today I still take to heart. It's not necessarily what you know, but who you know.
Indeed.
The connections are so important.
Amen.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing
Relationships are
today
everything.
without the connections and the relationships. And Jeff's story is a lot like a lot of ours, but I think of mine specifically because I'm brought into sports and brought into those connections, and you just never know what a simple hi, how you doing, what do you do might turn into. And Jeff is a beam of light and a ray of sunshine. There need to be more Jeff Rileys in this world, especially here. I've known him
Everybody
obviously
try to be
less
a
than you
Jeff
guys
Riley.
have.
Yep.
And
Jeff Riley.
he's just really a tremendous,
the world needs more
tremendous
Jeff
guy.
Rileys.
Yeah.
We all need a Jeff Riley in our lives. Thank you for the kind words, Marcus. Max Raj?
Well, real quick, Hardyville's got their last regular season baseball game tomorrow. We go on the road to take on Whale Branch, so I'm excited for that. See how it'll go.
Go get them.
Being that we had to forfeit the last time we were supposed to play them.
Yeah,
so,
we tried to get one in on spring break and we got burned. We couldn't get mine.
Anyway, the other one is obviously, we mentioned earlier, of course, that baseball for USCB is obviously going to be making some changes. I do want to wish Ted Faulkner the best. And well wishes to him and his family. I mentioned on the show, like my show on Sunday, I kind of aired my frustrations out with it, with how USCB's baseball season went, and how I was wishing for more. And the funniest thing is I look back and I say, he did the best that he could with what he had.
Yeah.
And I really wish
sometimes you can't
wish he had more to work with than what he did.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm intrigued to see what the new direction for USCB baseball is going to be, especially with the fact that as of right now, plans are being put together to build 2 new facilities for USCB. And we've talked about this before. And so hopefully with the new coach coming in, it can be a complete fresh start for USCB baseball, and hopefully a much brighter future. Timing
is everything. I think if Ted had gotten the job when Llewellyn left, and I don't think he even applied for the job then, he might have been in that stack. We got a lot of applications. I think if he got the job then and been able to take it over as an NAI program for the foreseeable future and inherit the place they were in at that time, it could have been a totally different outcome. I think the timing was atrocious with the
timing is everything, and sometimes it can go for you. Sometimes it can just.
I'm sure he has a list of regrets and things he would do differently, like we all would.
I like to do something different, but that was my thought as well. So I want to give my spin on it, just because I've been here I've been at USCB, worked for USCB for the entirety of Faulkner's tenure. And I just gotta say, I was really impressed by what he brought to this USCB tenure here, especially at the beginning. And he continued that approach as it went along. It got tougher going to Division II. That jump is not easy. I'll tell you what.
Well, especially with the conference playing.
Well,
the teams and the opponents. Going from the Sun Conference
and who you're recruiting against and what their facilities look like. That's the biggest difference. And the NAIA didn't matter that much because everybody's facilities going to look like that.
Where pretty much everybody is going to have some strong players across the board. There's no easy. Obviously, Claflin is a little down compared to the other guys, but pretty much all these Peach Belt teams You have to earn every win you get, and just the hand that you're dealt sometimes. Sometimes it's just you don't get those same fair opportunities, and I feel for Ted Faulkner in that sense, and I just wish that he we could have gotten better breaks for him in terms of guys coming to this program. But I will tell you what, the memories of that first year, 2021, where they went all the way to the Sun Conference Championship, and it was a Cinderella run through that bracket. Man, that was exhilarating to watch that team. I remember at least 2 comebacks that year.
Yeah,
that just were like, wow.
This team's always fought to the end. I will say that. You know, they seemed like they were getting better at the end, and they scrapped to the very end, even when it seemed like the season was written off. So I appreciate that from but you know, it is what it is. It's a harsh business, and it can go sideways on you.
But
if he wants to keep coaching the game, he's going to get an opportunity. But I know he's also got a young family and might want to go a different direction for you know, a while. So we wish him well.
And then on a very positive note, I'm all on this Hilton Chris Academy team, all in on this Eagles team.
They're raking right now.
Dude, the hitting is contagious. They're finding ways to put up runs in bunches. The pitching has been prolific so far.
They're getting healthy.
Those Bird boys, those brothers, man, they know how to play some ball. And,
but not just them, man. The other night, Roman Colella went yard. Anthony Seminara went yard.
I'll tell you what, sleep on this team.
Jackson Richardson had a big 3-run double last night.
Right now, they have the option to do something really special, and I think they can do it. I think,
and they've gotten accustomed to winning in the postseason.
You look at football, you look at other sports. This team has a winning culture. Winning culture sustains itself. And even sometimes
a good baseball guy too.
The winning culture of the nucleus of those players, especially those players who were involved last year, that stays. That winning culture stays, even sometimes through coaching changes.
Well, I think the guy who stepped down and replaced himself would probably tell you that they got a coaching upgrade this year, and that's not a knock on JW. That's just saying Jay Scarborough is a really good baseball guy.
Scarborough is fantastic, and I cannot wait to get him on the show because he's been begging me to get him on the show.
Well, they keep winning now. Be on the show for sure.
It's a lot like what May River does.
That's gonna be
you got something else, Mullis? You're leaning in.
Never underestimate when you got a frontline ace, boys.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I wanted
every
to
4 days.
Yeah.
Good shot, baby.
The thing I wanted to say regarding Christian Academy is, of course, that Lawrence Manning team beat them twice in regular season play. 1 run each both games.
And one of them was super controversial.
Yes. And we mentioned that the other night when me, Wes, and Marcus were on. I mentioned
how
controversial of a play it was. And we saw the video, and I was like, that's the dumbest call I've ever seen.
That was the one where they said he was safe because he was blocking the plate when the pitcher was crashing to cover home. How can you block the plate when you're running at full speed to crash home?
I don't understand it. But they got a tough one on Thursday against the number 2 seed Cardinal Newman, who's
if they win that one, they're in really good shape. But that is not
dude. If they win that one, they're going to
that'd be a good one.
Start doing some math. Let's see. What is today?
Today is Wednesday the 30th.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I don't put it past them. Because you know who'll be right out there Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton Brooks. Actually, hold on.
They got some arms. They should be all right to make a pretty good run here. And, again, when you got a guy who eats up 8 1/3, you get to save a lot of arms for the next one.
That's right.
That's not supposed to happen. They don't build them like that anymore.
They have what they had last year. What they had last year was good depth of pitching. And I feel like they have that depth again this season. I feel like that.
And they got bats. I mean, even if they have a rough night on the mound, they might outscore you. So
exactly.
It's gonna be fun. They can hit. It's gonna be a fun run. All right, boys, let's call it a night. We appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. It was a jam-packed show. We had all kinds of guests: Jeff Riley and Genia Montford from USCB. We love those folks. Go check out. I dropped a link in the comments. Go check out Center Court on the Lowco Media YouTube channel. and see what Jeff and I did last week on spring break. And then Tom Dyer and Ashton Stevenson. Ashton was great, right? I mean, the student athlete interviews, the student athlete interviews, always student athlete. Those are always the best. But me and Kornheiser both said student athlete on our podcast on the same day, Mollis. But those are always the best. And Ashton was, he did not let us down. He was tremendous. Great example of the kind of person that playing sports at a high level builds, because the responsibility, the accountability, all of that, it just makes good people. So get your folks in sports, and maybe someday we'll get to talk about them on here. Thanks to everybody who supports us. Thanks to Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, the OGs, all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of you who showed up to listen or watch. And of course you, Dan Mullis. For Dan Mullis, Marcus Walsh, Max Araj, and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, folks, go Loco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Loco.